the door that closed. Jesus told a story about 10 virgins who were waiting. All 10 were invited. All 10 brought lamps. All 10 expected the door to open. 5 were ready. 5 were not. The waiting lasted longer than they thought. The night grew darker. Then suddenly a cry rang out, "The bridegroom is coming!" Some rushed forward with joy. Others reached for what they did not have. And the door was closed. Jesus told this parable to answer one question: what does it mean to truly be ready? All 10 virgins were waiting. They stood together at the edge of the village, lamps in their hands, eyes looking down the road. Each lamp held a small flame, soft, flickering, just enough to push back the dark. They talked quietly as they waited, about the wedding, about the joy that was coming, about how long it might take. Some checked their lamps, some laughed and smiled, some yawned, but no one was worried. They had all been invited. They had all come prepared, or so it seemed. The road stayed empty. The sky grew darker. Time passed. The bridegroom did not arrive when they expected. Minutes turned into hours. The lamps burned lower. Their voices grew softer. Their feet grew tired. One by one, the waiting became heavy. Eventually, all 10 sat down. And as the night stretched on, every one of them fell asleep. Nothing seemed wrong. Nothing seemed urgent. They were all still waiting. In Jesus' time, weddings were joyful events that lasted many days. A group of young women would be invited to wait for the bridegroom and light the way when he arrived. No one knew the exact hour he would come. Waiting was normal. Delay was expected. Jesus spoke of 10 to show that everyone who was invited was present. All 10 waited together. All 10 looked the same at first. The difference would only be seen when the moment finally came. The night grew quiet. The lamps flickered as oil slowly burned away. The flames grew smaller, but no one noticed. All 10 slept. The delay was longer than anyone expected, longer than planned, long enough for confidence to fade. Then, at midnight, a sudden cry pierced the darkness.
"The bridegroom is coming! Go out to meet him!"
The virgins jolted awake. They reached for their lamps. 5 lamps flared bright. The oil was ready, but 5 lamps sputtered. The flames shrank. Smoke curled upward. Panic filled the air. "Our lamps are going out," they cried. "Give us some of your oil." But the others shook their heads. "There may not be enough for both of us," they said. "You must go and buy some for yourselves." So the 5 who were unprepared ran into the night. Their footsteps faded into the dark. And while they were gone, the bridegroom arrived. While the 5 were gone, the bridegroom arrived. Those who were ready stepped forward. Their lamps burned bright. Their faces were filled with joy. They followed the bridegroom inside, and the door was shut. The music began. The celebration started. Inside, the wedding was full of light and joy. Outside, the night was silent. After a while, footsteps returned. The other 5 had come back. Their lamps were burning now. They hurried to the door. They knocked. "Lord, Lord," they called, "open the door for us." There was a pause. Then a voice answered from inside, "Truly, I tell you, I do not know you." The words were final, not angry, not shouted, just final. The door did not open again. The 5 stood there, holding lamps that burned too late. They had been invited. They had waited. They had expected to enter. But the moment had passed. The story ended quietly. No punishment was shown, only a closed door and a lesson that could not be undone. Jesus did not tell this story to frighten his listeners. He told it to help them understand what truly matters. All 10 virgins were invited. All 10 were waiting. All 10 looked the same at the beginning, but the difference was not what could be seen. It was what they carried inside. The oil was not something that could be shared at the last moment. Readiness could not be borrowed. It had to be prepared ahead of time. Jesus was teaching that knowing about Him is not the same as being ready for Him. The delay did not surprise God. The waiting did not mean He had forgotten. But the moment would come, and when it did, there would be no time left to prepare. This is why Jesus ended the parable with a simple call.
Therefore, keep watch, not with fear, not with panic, but with trust.
Being ready does not mean being perfect. It means living each day with hearts turned toward God.
Listening, trusting, and staying close.
The door closed quietly in the story, not to punish, but to show that some moments cannot be repeated. The question Jesus leaves with us is gentle, but serious. If the waiting ended today, would your lamp still be burning?